Welcome to yet another exciting episode of GoFigure with your usual host, me. Anyway, today I will try and blow your mind with a story about these Build-A-Figure large and medium figures from the company Toybiz that doesn't even exist no more. But nonetheless, this was something new in the toy industry back in the early 2000s when Marvel decided to just start releasing up to 6 or 7 figures in a single wave and introduce characters with a lot of articulation and very good sculpts and so forth. Halfway through that line, they decided to start offering something different rather than just offering little dioramas for your figures. So they switched to this idea of offering body pieces from each of these figures with each of the smaller 6-inch figures. So that in the end, if you get all 7 of them, you can build, for example, this awesome looking Apocalypse. So therefore, that proved to be a very good formula, so the Toybiz continued with that idea all the way to the end of the line. The end of the line being the last wave they released was wave 15. But there were some offshot series that were related to Marvel Legends that were specifically focusing on X-Men, Spider-Man and Hulk. But about them later. Anyway, let's start with some of these first, so to give you an idea what are they all about. This funny little fella here is very famous to, I'm sure, most of you fans out there. This is MODOK from the very last wave of Marvel Legends, wave 15. If you gather all the pieces, you could practically make your own MODOK, the leader of AIM organization. And of course, if you have a bunch of AIM soldiers from the latest Hasbro series, then you can create your own army for him. The thing is, I have 3 of those soldiers, and I will display them next time and show it to you how it looks like. He's an amazingly done figure with some articulation, so he's ideal for anybody's display, or if you're just a big fan of the bad guys. So the next to him, a much smaller looking Build-A-Figure from wave 14 of Marvel Legends Toybiz is Mojo, the lunatic from another universe who always worries about the ratings. And you probably remember him from such series as Uncanny X-Men and X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men. He made an appearance in both, always looking disgusting and fat and unbelievably disturbed. And I have his assistant Spiral, the lady with a lot of arms, and I'll show her in another presentation in the future. But this is how he looks like when he's built. Next to him, again another character from the X-Men. This would be Onslaught in his more revised form, because back in the 1990s this character looked a bit different. And from what we understand is that this particular character is a bad guy, and he contains the conscience or the bad thoughts of Professor X and Magneto. It's a combined nasty evil thoughts of both of them revived in this robotic body. And it gave a great deal of trouble to the X-Men, I understand. I'm not familiar with the story, so the viewers will forgive me for that. I only know a little bit from what I've seen on the internet, but that's about it. But nonetheless, it's a great figure. Unfortunately, very skinny legs, and sometimes it's quite difficult to stand them properly. But this is how he would look at the back, so in a way he looks like a robotic cockroach, if you ask me. Nonetheless, a very nice figure with clawed hands, so he would go well in any display for the X-Men anyway. The next one in line is something that came when Toybiz lost the license for Marvel characters. So they decided to go something along the lines of any affiliated companies that makes characters that are independent from Marvel. And this guy is called a Monkey Man. He was a Build-A-Figure from very short-lived series of legendary comic book heroes, which had only 2 waves. A guy called Pit was a Build-A-Figure in the first wave, and in the second wave you get the Monkey Man. I managed to get him in my searches a long time ago, and I'm very happy with it. He's quite big. He has very nice sculpt on the feet, on the hands, and on all the pouches he's carrying on his belt, or a survival belt I suppose. I am not familiar with the character, but honestly I really like the way he looks. I just couldn't resist him when I saw him because he's truly a nice figure. He was also supposed to come with a lady who is his assistant. I believe her name is O'Hara. Again, I'm not familiar with this comic book, but I love the character nonetheless. And I wish one day I could find Pitt, who came as Build-A-Figure in Wave 1. Because that guy is also very awesome, but yet again, I'm not familiar with the comics. But nonetheless. So, next in line, let's see. We would have everybody's favorite villain from X-Men, the Apocalypse. The giant version, that is. He was in one of the waves near the end of the Toybiz run from Marvel Legends, and he was roughly, I believe, in wave 12. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong about that. And this is a regular version. I seem to understand there is a variant of him that comes with some slight color variations. This is the regular version from what I know. And he comes with the detachable pipes of some sort. And he can do split. Whoops, sorry. There we go. He can do a split with his legs, so he is very well articulated. He can curl up his hands in the fists. And he's roughly 12 inches tall. And he's a pretty heavy looking figure. And very well done. This is exactly how Apocalypse would look even in the cartoons or in the comics. Great figure. Ideal for anybody out there who's into X-Men and so forth. And then next in line, another 12-inch figure from Marvel Legends Toybiz is the Sentinel. And here he comes. Now this is the version from Toybiz, of course, because I'm sure many of you are familiar with the 16-inch version that can talk that came out from Hasbro and the Marvel Universe line a few years back, but this is the version that came way before that. And this one cannot talk, but it's an amazing sculpt, very detailed, has the bendable tentacles coming out of his hands that can be wrapped around any 6-inch figure. And he can lift them up all the way up in the air if he wants to, and hold the figure in the air. He has articulation, very detailed face, and very menacing look altogether. He would be able to snatch Wolverine and tear him to pieces any day. And some people who were lucky, in my case I only managed to get one, but others would army build these up to 3 or 4 even. Go crazy as much as you can get, or as many as you can get, but in my case one is enough. I try not to duplicate things really, due to the budget and such, but I'm really happy with the way he looks, and this is how he would look at the back for you guys to take a shot at it. Absolutely amazing figure, way better than what we saw in the latest X-Men movie, but nonetheless, this is the classic look if I ever saw any when it comes to Sentinels. So there you go, that's about the Sentinel. And we move on to the next one. Over here we have a Wave 9 Marvel Toybiz Build-A-Figure of Galactus, the Devourer of the Worlds. This guy looks absolutely amazing as a character, and as a figure even more so. He is not electronic in any way, yet again, because none of these figures were electronic. There is a 19-inch version of this same character available from Hasbro a few years back, but I still like this one, even though I do possess the electronic one too. I like this one for the simplicity of the fact that it goes well with Marvel Legends, and he looks pretty darn menacing, especially because they captured very well the expression on the face. And this is how he would look at the back. So if you can get him, I would highly recommend them by any means, but if you can't, then try and just get the electronic one if you can get him at a good price. So he's an amazing figure by any means. nothing goes out of fashion when it comes to vintage toys as far as I'm concerned. I always admire the old and the new, equally so. Sometimes I admire the old ones even more than the new. And then the last figure among the Build-A-Figures I would like to introduce you is the last acquisition I got recently, and Giant Man. And of course, he's also an Ant-Man, and he's also a Yellow Jacket. Henry Pym, the scientist and the member of the Avengers, and a long-time member. And he had 3 personas, as I said. This persona will be the Giant Man, but he's also an Ant-Man and a Yellow Jacket, and I have those figures as well, but I'll show them another time. This guy is also quite amazing, and he came, as a matter of fact, in Marvel Legends Toybiz, but as an exclusive wave that was only available in the Walmarts in the States and Canada. So he was very difficult to get. There was a lot of pieces and some variants that came in that wave. I will just give you a quick rundown. There was a Thor in there, classic look Thor. There was a Kitty Pryde, Wolverine from the Age of Apocalypse, a regular version and a variant version. There was also a Sentry, 2 versions. And then we also had a couple of other characters. They escape me at the moment, but nonetheless it contained at least around 7 or 9 characters altogether. You had to collect a lot of pieces for this one, but in the end it was worth it. He is actually going for quite a bit of money lately, but it's worth it if you can get it and if you can find it at a good price. Now, this is all I have when it comes to Toybiz. I do miss Pitt from this series of legendary comic book heroes, which came in Wave 1, and I do miss certain Build-A-Figure characters from the Hasbro series. I do have 1 or 2 that are from the Hasbro series, but they're much smaller in size than many of these, but I will show those on another occasion. And the only other one I would really like to emphasize that I would like to get one day from the Build-A-Figures would be the Fin Fang Foom, who came in the exclusive Hasbro series of Hulk characters, and that one is still elusive for me because the price is way too much. But hopefully one day I will be able to obtain that one and show it to you guys. Anyway, this is all for now about these large bad boys. Thank you for watching, and catch you again later. Bye.